Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Broken Knock podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris DePerna, alongside of Miss Megan DePerna and Mr. Ken Reese. How you doing, guys?
Good over you.
This here is a new thing we're going to do here. We like to get the full podcast out to you, but also in between, we're going to start a new thing with our sponsor spotlights. And today's spotlight is going to be with Mr. Matthew Crise. How you doing today?
Not bad, not bad.
Good to have you here. Matt is the CEO of Chico Outdoors Incorporated that is brought to you by Jim Shorkey of Greensburg. We wanted to get Matt back on here. We had him on last year and talked about the Chico Outdoor Show and how the event got started with Matt's brother and how this all went. So we do ask you guys to go out and listen to that one if you want the full backstory on the whole show and how it all came about. But
Yes.
what we want to do with these new spotlights is we just kind of want to let you guys know what's going on and highlight you from what's going to be new for this year and what went on last year. So Matt, if you can, how about let the listeners know how the show go last year?
Yeah, show went really well. Being our sixth annual, we kind of got a few under our belt now and starting to figure things out, and crowd's starting to pick up.
It's growing.
And yeah, it is. It's definitely become a year-round thing now, to where the planning phase is from the time we wrap up, tearing down here. It's on. That's when we start, because when you go to things we want to book, bands, things like that, that all has to start. The process has to start now because everybody gets booked. So it's something that we start having meetings pretty much immediately after. We take a month or so off to kind of regroup, and then we get back into
And
it
then you're
again.
back at the planning stage. Yeah. We saw with your meeting here today, it's a pretty well-oiled machine now.
Yeah,
You guys got things
sure
pretty
is.
well.
Yeah,
figured out.
yeah, we've come a long way. I mean, the board that we have is, I can't say enough about the board. Everything that we accomplish is because of them. I mean, we brought certain people onto the board for certain purposes. Everybody brings something to the table, and even the trustees, CJ, Mark, and Todd, we brought them on out of the industry because they could bring something that we didn't know, or they could teach us things that we didn't know. They could
Right.
bring a different perspective from the industry, and it's been a great help to have those guys on.
Right. So for those out there that are listening or watching, that don't know what the Chico Outdoor Show is, kind of touch base on just what is it all about? What is it for?
Yeah, the show started out of tragedy, as we said. If you want to listen to the whole backstory on it, the other podcast we did had that, but the show is everything's in memory of Andrew Chico Christ. That was my brother. When he passed away, this was a way we started to just raise some funds for the organizations that he used to work with, the sportsmen's clubs in the area and that kind of thing. He was very big into getting kids in the outdoors, so this just was something we wanted to do to be able to give back to those organizations that he wasn't going to be able to do anymore.
Right.
So it started out on a very small scale. I mean, you guys pretty much have been there since the beginning. We started at Norvell Fire Hall with 20 vendors, and here at this point we're counting down the registration closing on this year, and we're up to almost 110 vendors. So
That's awesome.
and that's not counting food vendors. There's another 15 food vendors,
Right.
things like that.
Yeah, so you've got what, food vendors, a bunch of different outdoor type vendors.
Yeah. Basically, we got. I mean, everything you would see at your normal outdoor show, as far as vendors, hunting, fishing, camping. Anything to do with the outdoors. We kind of stretch it as far as we can, but we want to keep it to outdoors. There's some equipment. There's different things like that.
Chainsaw carving.
Yeah, chainsaw carving. There's demonstrations. Um, that all anything you can think of. But what sets us apart, I think, what's different about ours is it's more of an event. It's a family event. It's not your normal go walk through, talk to some vendors, buy some
Yeah.
things, and leave.
Yeah.
Right.
It's something you can make a day, you can make a weekend out of. I
Sure
mean,
can,
there's
yeah.
enough stuff here to do, with the different bands we have each day, and the seminars, and all that kind of stuff. You can make 2 days out of it.
I know my grandkids love the kids section. I mean, with the live trout pond and all the games and everything, I mean, they absolutely love that.
Yeah. We've
what
actually
you guys are doing for the
yeah
kids
we've
is
actually
awesome.
expanded on that this year a little bit. We're going to add a few things to it. We'll still have the trout pond every year. That's a staple that we'll always have that. The games for kids. There's, I believe, 10 different games they can play. Every kid gets a prize. They just, when you come into the kids area, you pay one price admission for the kids area. They can play the games all weekend long, all day long for one price. They get one nice prize, instead of, like you go to a lot of the fairs and stuff, you pay $10 for a kid to play a game and they get
Right.
Right.
some chintzy little thing. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
here we give them a nice,
Yeah, they get a nice toy. It's awesome.
yeah,
Like I said, my grandkids love that. They can
yeah,
pick something
yeah.
right away.
And then with that this year too, Pritz Feed Mill, Kriston Farms here locally, they're going to put together a kids climbing wall. It's a hay bale climbing wall with a corn pit for the kids to play in. They're bringing some different animals, different farm animals will be in
Awesome.
that building. The kids can see. It's not really a petting zoo type atmosphere, but it's more of what you'd see at the fair. They'll be in the pens. There'll be some information on the front of the pen to tell you the animal and what they're used for and that kind of
Right.
thing. So just an educational thing for the
Right.
kids that way
Yeah,
too.
that's awesome. That's awesome. And along with the kids, you guys do a lot here for the veterans and military as well.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We've that's something that I kind of took the reins on. When we started, everything was centered around the kids, and then I decided to bring a military group into it. I knew there was a lot of veteran outdoor groups out there, and so I tried to seek one out locally, and I did find military veterans outdoors, and that's who we've been working with a lot lately. But I started branching out to where um, we're kind of doing more on the veteran side, start to put more of our funds to the veteran side.
Right.
We have a really good working relationship with Post 982 Legion. We work a lot with them, so we're able to um, kind of work back and forth with them, figure out what they need, what the veterans need, what we can do for them. We help them out with their veteran car show they do every year, things like that. So this year we've always, since we've been on the grounds here, we've always had an opening ceremony that included the veterans.
Right.
The Legion Honor Guard, the VFW Honor Guard would help us out. And that was always our Saturday morning opening. Shortly after we opened, we did the national anthem, had the flag ceremony, and we moved on with the day. This year, we decided to kind of highlight that because we want to put more emphasis on the veteran side as well.
Right.
And so we moved that back. That ceremony will be Saturday at noon, and it's going to include a small military parade with some military equipment. Obviously, the VFD or the VFW and the Legion Honor Guards will still do their march in with the flags and do their ceremony. Um, we have the Laurel Highlanders pipes and drums going to play a couple tunes while they're marching down. They'll play while they're marching out. Then we'll have their ceremony, and depending on the weather and if everything works out in our favor, we're supposed to have a Black Hawk flyover that day too.
Awesome.
So
Pretty cool.
That'd be
that's going to be really cool.
Yeah, so it's a well-rounded family event. I mean, this is something for everybody. You don't have to just be a hunter or even a fisherman to show up. I mean, I know last year I remember seeing craft area where people just they like crafts. I mean, I know it's geared towards the outdoors, and you're not going to come here and buy gutters and windows, but
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah, you can you can come here and just about anything outdoor related you can get into.
Yeah, that's one thing you're not going to see is that kind of filler stuff here. I mean, like I said, we will stretch it as far as we can. It's got to be outdoor related in some sense. It's got to have a tie to the outdoors for us. Other than we do have the craft building, as you said, for the ladies. The building we're in right
I was
now.
going to say,
Yeah,
I
right.
think
Yeah.
this
I
is
think
the
it's
building
this
here that it's usually
I
in.
know it's a
Yeah.
big hit because you guys do different types of Chinese raffles and all that stuff. My wife spends tons of money there. I mean,
Yeah,
she loves
yeah,
that
that'll
stuff.
be in this building too. That'll be up here in the corner of this building. We usually have around 40 or 50 baskets for that. I know behind the scenes our people are working really hard to get those baskets gathered up.
Right.
Yeah, if anybody wants to drop any off, even the week we're setting up here or the weekend of, feel free to bring those up. We're glad to have those. That's a good fundraiser for us. That makes us probably our best profit of the
Right.
weekend
Yeah.
here. So
Yeah, if there's anybody out there watching or listening, if you have a small business or anyone that does that would be willing to donate to Matt's program here, it would be greatly appreciated.
Absolutely.
The smallest donations help with what you're doing for
right,
sure.
yep.
So that's awesome. So last year, I mean, the numbers were pretty good. You brought a lot of people through the gate. Weather was nice.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking you're going to grow on that this year. I mean, it seems like the wheels are turning and more people are hearing about it, and I think it's going to expand some more.
Yeah, that's something that has been kind of one of them things that how do you get to the people and what's your best form of advertising and all that. And I think this year we put more into advertising than we've ever have.
Right.
We have 5 billboards out around the area on the major highways. We put a lot of road signs out. We got some really good locations. People helped us out. Some of our vendors gave us permission to put banners on their property and stuff like that. So we got some really good locations for that now. So I think that it's getting out there. It's getting the name out. We're becoming a household name.
Right.
It's really odd though in this area. There's still people that don't know about us. So we try to do this kind of
Right.
stuff, the podcast, and try to do that kind
Yeah.
of stuff, the TV interviews, to try to get it out there.
Right.
Our focus after the show this year is going to be to put a marketing campaign together for Chico Outdoors, the brand. We want to push the brand, not so much focus on the show. We want to build it up all year long,
Right.
so that when we do put the show out there, then people already know the name. It's already in their head.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Definitely a great idea. I mean, and there's so much here for people to come to. Just the food vendors alone. I mean, you got a ton of different food vendors here for people to stop
Yeah,
by and grab
absolutely.
something to eat. I
There's-
mean, heck, even if you didn't like the outdoors, you got to like food. That's here.
Yeah, and that's what I tell people. I mean, people will come to the fair here, Westmoreland Fair, and they'll pay $7 to get in to buy an Armour's hot sausage and leave. I'm like, we're $5.
Yep.
and, all,
Right.
and,
Yeah,
all,
and they're here.
and Armour's is here.
Right.
So
Yep.
if you like Armour's and that's what gets you there, you can get it a little earlier this year. So come
Right.
up and see us, and we got everything. I mean, there's going to be everything from pizza, strombolis, barbecue, fish, walleye, you name it, it's going to be here. Ice cream, donuts. I mean,
I love all that stuff.
What-
look for
whatever.
it.
You're going to be loaded up.
yeah, whatever you're looking for is probably here.
Every morning, I look for in the morning. You go find something somewhere. You get a
Good
donut
breakfast
or
sandwich or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
So this year the event's Saturday, April 12th from 10 to 7, and then you got Sunday, April 13th from 9 to 5. What's the cost to get in for general admission?
It's only $5. 13 and up's $5 to get in. Kids 12 and under are free. Everybody through the gate gets a chance to win door prizes. The kids, we have two gun raffles, one each day for the kids for a youth raffle, and there's always adult door prizes as well. Also, with the veteran service on Saturday, admission is completely free for veterans with ID. Just show,
that's
just show,
awesome.
just
Yeah,
show
that's
your
great.
ID on Saturday all day long. And be sure to stop at our booth when you come in. We're going to have a booth set up right inside Commercial 1 in the first building you come into. And we're doing a raffle for a Henry Military Edition rifle.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Helltown Arms in Mount Pleasant hooked us up with that. And it's a beautiful, beautiful gun.
Nice.
And some lucky veteran's going to take that home for nothing.
That's really cool. Really cool. So for that $5 entry, then that gets you into the show, and pretty much you can do everything here. Now, is there any additional cost to see the bands or anything like that?
Nah, that's all included with your admission. The only thing that there is an additional cost we said was a kids area.
Right.
There's a small fee but for what they get to do, it's a very minimal fee.
Right.
That gets you 5 minutes in the trout pond. It gets you all the games. They can play every game, get that prize, play on the climbing wall, do everything in there, and they can do it all day long. They can keep coming back. They'll
Right.
get one big
For
prize,
$5, yeah,
but they can
that's-
keep coming back and playing them games over and over and over.
That's awesome.
I'm interested to see the climbing wall.
I want to climb.
I wanna
Maybe I
climb
could
it. I wanna
climb
try
it.
it.
Yeah,
We're gonna be
yeah,
able to
absolutely.
take Jace off the climbing
Oh, I
wall.
know. My grandson will be. He'll be
Megan, go
stuck
up there
in
and
it.
get him.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, that's awesome. So, how's things looking? I mean, as far as you guys are planned out for this year, are things going, staying on schedule? You look.
Yeah,
everything's looking good?
things are pretty much on schedule. Like you said, we're recording this today. We just finished up our meeting. You guys were here for the meeting. We had our general meeting. We had our board meeting, and everything's pretty much on track. We're kind of in the, I call it the lull period here, where most of the big stuff is scheduled, is done, is ready to go, and you're kind of in that transition week where we got to get the trailer loaded, get everything up here. We actually move into the grounds next Sunday, the 6th. We take over. We have the grounds for 10 days. We have set up, we have tear down time plus the show. So we'll be getting on the grounds. We're chomping at the bit to get up here as soon as we can, because kind of at this point it's kind of a weird point, because there's only so much left to do, little things left to do, get that all out of the way, and then now we're just waiting to be able to get on the ground
Yeah.
to get
Right.
started.
Yeah,
Get
absolutely.
set up. A lot to do.
Nice. Yeah, well, I mean, I know we're looking forward to it. One of the new things that you guys were gracious enough to let us add to the event this year would be the Barn Burner 3D challenge that we
Yeah.
got going on. So with Ken and Megan here wanting to start up the podcast and dragging me back into this was something we thought we'd, Matt and I, we've talked about this before, and you guys had bought some targets and said, hey, let's make this happen. So I'm excited about that. How about
I
you
am.
guys?
I can't wait. I can't wait. I mean, we're getting good registration right now. We're getting a lot of good feedback from people reaching out to us on social media platforms. And Megan and I were fortunate to be asked to be on a podcast last week So we were on that and talked a little bit about the shoot and Chico Outdoors and this show on that podcast
Thank you. We
also.
appreciate that.
Antler Up Outdoors with Jeremy. He's the Pennsylvania. He's out of PA too.
Okay.
Yeah, so Matt was gracious enough to give us the building on the end of
Mm-hmm.
the complex here, which is actually bigger than I thought. You know, I was wasn't realizing it was going to be as big as it is, but really cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to building this one. I think this is something we're going to build up every year, and also the fact that you guys are like, hey, get the shooters in here and pay them. You know?
Yeah.
Let them win some cash. You know,
Absolutely,
and just, and we appreciate that. You know, the opportunity to work with you on that and to build this up.
Now we appreciate you guys taking that on because, like you said, we had talked about it, and I started buying some targets, trying to get stuff built up to. I figured this was a few years out yet at this point, the way we were kind of progressing with it, and then when you guys came on and said you wanted to do it this year, and you had the means to finish it off, so we're
So anybody out there watching or listening, I mean, we are going to have the Barn Burner Challenge. It's called. You can go to the Chico Outdoors page and register. You can pre-register now to compete. So we are going to do cash and prizes. If you don't want to compete, that's fine. Just show up, bring your bow, and you'll just pay a flat fee to shoot either Saturday or Sunday. Kids, women. Children, adults, everyone is welcome. We will not provide bows for you. I think we will. No, I'm sorry. I think we will have a couple. We talked about that. We'll have some recurves.
Some recurves, I think.
So if anybody doesn't have a bow but they want to give it a try, you can stop and see us, and we will have some recurves that you can try out. But more than welcome. We encourage you to bring your own bows, and we encourage you to compete. And like I said, we're going to be handing out some cash prizes. So if you think you're good enough to win it, come on.
Yeah.
We want to see you here.
And it greatly helps, too, to pre-registering online. Gives us a good idea of how many shooters we're going to be dealing with. Obviously, you can for sure come in, register when you get to the show also.
Right.
But we have links to that to the registration on our social media pages, ChicoOutdoors.org.
Yeah,
So
I love the name too. The name you guys come up with is perfect. I mean, it goes with the theme.
He's
it goes
creative.
with the
I'll give him that.
I do like it.
It did kind of fit. I mean, I think it's going to be cool. I'm really excited about it. I mean, it's going to be an indoor. 30. What we figure 35 yards max, 30 target course, known distance. So if you have a rangefinder, bring it. You got binoculars, bring them. You still got to make the shot.
Yep.
And that's what's cool is it's inviting everybody to. We don't want anybody to come in and feel like I don't know if I can do this. Everybody can do it. It's going to be fun and having the prizes for the kids and the adults. It's going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to this.
One thing we've gotten asked is there's no particular knock times.
No, and that's the thing. I'm glad you brought that up because Saturday and Sunday. So the event opens up here at Saturday at 10 a.m. And closes at 7. So we're going to allow shooters to shoot on Saturdays between like 11 a.m. and 6. They're probably going to have to be on the line by 5 p.m. at the latest. So we can get them through that way. Anybody that wants to see the bands and that can do so. And then Sunday, it's from 9 a.m. to 5, so we're probably going to allow you to shoot from like 10 a.m. to 4 on Sunday. If you show up and shoot Saturday, you don't have to shoot on Sunday. We did get that question. A lot of times, guys, people were thinking, well, do I have to be there both days? You don't. We're going to carry over the scores. So whoever shoots on Saturday, our top scores from Saturday will carry over to Sunday. And then once it's all said and done and all over, our top shooters are who's going to get paid out. And that's how we're going to do that. And then prizes will be drawings and whatnot.
Yeah, we'll do drawings also kind of throughout on
door prize things.
We'll be drawing door prizes also.
Yeah, and it's just to get everybody involved, and it's just to add another aspect to this outdoor show and keep it growing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We're always looking to try to add more interactive stuff to get people to hang out. I mean, that's the biggest thing. And I had a chance to walk around last year and talk to the vendors on Sunday before they left and give them their pre-registrations for this year and ask them questions that and when we come around, if you're a vendor. Be open and honest with us. We want to know.
100%.
We want this to be the best show it can be. So if there's something you see that we can do better or something that we should improve on, by all means, let us know. And some of the criticism we got, it was very constructive. There was nothing bad that we couldn't fix or something that we didn't agree that we didn't think of that. So then we went and tweaked the show a little bit, and one of the things that stood out to me, one of the good comments that I got in walking around was that we were the only show that this particular vendor had been to where he saw the same people by his booth 2 and 3 times. Now, granted, we're not one of the huge shows, but he said a lot of shows people would walk past they'd look at my stuff. They'd say, "Oh man, I'll be back," and they never come back.
Right.
He said, "Because some of these shows you do get lost. By the time you get to the other end, maybe somebody else had the same thing I had, and they just
Right.
didn't come back." He said, "Here," he said, "probably 2, 3 times sometimes, and then they bought it." Like
Yeah.
he said, and sometimes they went down, and I know he said they disappeared for an hour, and they come back, get a beer in their hand, walking around, checking everything out again, and maybe that little bit of liquid encouragement
That's
made
it.
them buy this.
The
But
creative juices
yeah,
flowing. Yeah.
but they said that like to see people, and a lot of people would maybe look around the first time, and then they'd stop and talk, and then
Right.
then the third time they came back, they bought.
Yeah.
And
I think
so that's something the show offers. A lot
absolutely,
don't.
and I would agree with that, Vendor. And I think it's nice the way you set this up. From the morning till evening, where you have bands playing the whole time. You have entertainment. You have stuff for the kids to do. There's so much going on the whole day that I think, for the most part, that people to come in and they're only spending $5 to be here. They don't want to leave.
Right.
They
absolutely.
want to do something else.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, I know there's a lot of people probably have breakfast, lunch, and dinner here.
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know? I
yeah.
mean, seriously,
Oh, yeah.
because they're sticking around to see the bands in the evening, and quite a few of them with your ticket that you sell that you put off, and I know there's not very many of them left.
Right,
But, that ticket's got a lot of great prizes
It
on
does.
it. So
It's
so
not-
that's
yeah.
another thing. I think a lot of people are waiting around to see if they win that.
Yeah,
too,
there's around $84,000 in
I was
prizes.
going to
on
say
that
you're
ticket.
handing out. I
Yeah.
mean, what is it's like a $15,000 or $16,000 cash payout at the
Yeah,
end.
yeah. The final payout at the end is 15,000 if you're here,
Jeez.
12,000 if you're not. So even if you got the ticket and
Yeah.
you can't be here, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Come up, grab a sausage sandwich,
if-
and
if-
leave. You might
yeah.
still win
yeah,
12
yeah,
grand.
if you're
Right.
if you're anywhere close, I would try to be here for that drawing.
Right,
$3,000
absolutely.
Yeah, I was gonna
$3,000
say
is $3,000.
$3,000
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That can get you a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. But that's cool because you guys put that together, and that helps fund your nonprofit and what you guys do. And that's the cool thing about this is I know I've told you before, like I felt like you always tried to put everything on your shoulders and handle everything yourself. And I will say my constructive criticism may have been that, and I see now that you have a lot of help and you've allowed people to step in and help you so that you can branch out. And what you've done, Matt, is just phenomenal.
Yeah,
I mean,
thank
it's an
you, thank
awesome
you.
job
Yeah,
what
you're-
you've done with this show.
Your info. I mean, you and I talked a lot, and I've always respected everything that you've told me, and you've helped this show grow to what it is too. Because you and I know I'd come down the shop and we'd stand there and talk, and I was stressed,
Oh yeah,
and that was and you always calmed me down and said it's going to be all right. Like if you stick to this model, and you were the one that really put in me about the filler stuff. Leave the filler stuff out.
Yep.
You don't need it. Like once you build the show, this show's gonna sell itself. And you told me that from the beginning. It's
And
gonna
it
grow
has.
itself. It's gonna sell itself. You don't need that filler stuff. And we've kind of stuck to that. And then the other side of it is, you pushing me to, hey, you're gonna need some help. And I don't think I believed that it was gonna get to this point at that. I just figured, it's not gonna be that big. You know what I mean? And it's just grown. And
it's
Well,
tremendous.
When we put the board together, like I said initially, we put the board together specifically the way we wanted, and it's showing.
Yeah.
I mean, Austin and Keegan does all the behind the scenes stuff. If you're getting emails about registration, you're sending your registrations, you're paying your money. That's all Keegan. And Austin, he does a lot of the social media with Mark Franks. They do a lot of that. Mike Rayshart does all the behind-the-scenes stuff as far as booking the bands and keeping the bar running and getting the entertainment, stuff like
Getting
that.
on my ass to
Getting
make sure
on-
I'm
yeah.
keeping
Oh, yeah.
things straight. Mike's
Yeah.
constantly getting, he's worker.
That's one good thing. I mean, he does the job that he has. He does have some downtime, in between seasons, and he just is phenomenal.
He's a go-getter,
He
yeah.
gets out there and he will hound you. I mean, but a lot of the vendors we have are because of him.
Right.
Like some of them, it took 2 or 3 years before they were finally like, okay, I'll come to your show. Like you just got to quit calling me. Like you come to and then they get here and they see it and they're like, no, I'm glad
Yeah.
I came. But
Yeah.
Right.
but getting to those people sometimes, and you probably see it around the industry too. As a growing show, the guys have the established shows they go to. They kind of get in a routine, kind of get in a rut. You throw something new at them, they're like, oh man, I don't know. I don't know if this is worth me going to. And once we get them here and see that
Yeah.
it's, I tell everybody all the time, we're not by any means going to be the biggest show you go to, but we have gotten a compliment, and this one really sticks with me is how organized the show is when
It's
you get here.
Very well organized.
very.
And that's something that I'm very proud of, and my team is very proud of, because that's the little things like that are what set us apart.
Well, yeah, and I can tell you, I mean, I've been in the industry enough to know and see what goes on with these shows and that out there. And you have, in my absolute opinion, you've got the best outdoor show in southwestern Pennsylvania in this whole area. I mean, there's some other ones that go on. They're not even close. And the biggest reason for that is you draw in people that want to do outdoors things, like we said earlier. You're not buying gutters and doors and that
Right,
here.
right,
And there's a time and place for that, but this isn't the home show. This
Exactly.
is, and,
Correct.
Exactly.
and that's what I really enjoy about what you do, and I think that's what draws people in, is they know that they're going to come here and enjoy themselves. So, yeah, that's awesome. Definitely looking forward to it. Again, it's Saturday, April 12th from 10 a.m. to 7, Sunday, April 13th from 9 a.m. to 5. You got to get out here and see the show. And Matt, we appreciate everything that you do for us, with our podcast, with Creek Archery, with Broken Knock Productions. We're looking forward. These two guys are looking forward to getting the cameras and the drones and all that
production
stuff
work
out
for you.
there.
We're
and
excited.
getting some new stuff. And, we're looking forward to the show. I think it's going to be an awesome one, and I'm hoping to get everybody there for sure.
Yeah, and like you were saying a little bit about the entertainment and the bands and that kind of stuff. Even the bands, I mean, it's so diverse. The bands that we've got booked this year, we've got country, we've got some rock, we've got Sunday's going to be all acoustic, so it's going to be more of a low key day. But we got some really good bands. I mean, our lineup, we got the Lionhearts. They're a local country rock band.
Right.
They're doing pretty well. Junior Guthrie and the Push. The Heartstrings are coming all the way from Jersey Shore,
Nice.
Wow.
that area, Williamsport.
Wow, great.
They just released an album, so people are really starting to know them out there. So we're hoping some of them people follow them here. Shiva Skydriver, AJ Shawley. Obviously, we all know AJ. We all know what AJ
Absolutely.
can do.
Yeah.
AJ's killer.
Nick Polito and Nate Frost. They both got good followings. It's just, I think this is probably our best lineup. And then the 8:30 to 10:30 on Saturdays, the Andy Davis Barn Party. So come on out to that. Last year, I don't know that we could have put another person in that barn. I mean, it was
Yeah,
crazy.
it's jam-packed.
It was crazy. So we're hoping to replicate that again.
You're going to have room for your beer trailer in there.
The beer trailer will be in that building before anything else goes in there.
Priorities.
Yeah, priorities. We do have. Well, we're talking about beer. If you didn't get up here last year, get up here this year and try the new Chico Outdoors American Lager.
It was a good beer.
We
Yeah.
got
Very
our,
good.
got our own beer. That's
That's
crazy.
awesome. That is pretty cool, man.
To think about that, I make a joke. I said, when we put his name on a beer can, that had to make him pretty excited. But when the 8-tap beer wagon rolled up with his logo on the side, I think that surpasses the beer now. But
yeah, I think your brother he was out there pouring a beer today. Guaranteed.
I believe it. So yeah, with that, I mean, we've got all the food and drink options you want. Country Hammer Moonshine will be here. Some of the food vendors will stay open for the barn party that night, so you'll be able to get food and drink for quite a while, afterwards. So even if you can't make it up during the day, try to get up for that.
Yeah, get here in the evening, for sure.
The vendors will shut down at 7:00. Once all the buildings are locked down and everything, then everybody kind of makes their way down there. We close up our stuff and we head down, and
Saturday night live concert entertainment.
yeah, and it always turns into a good time. It's a good party. Everybody that's hung around, really enjoys that. And it's kind of our way to unwind from the whole long week of setup and everything. And
Right.
and then Sunday we'll just kind of taper down to shutting her down and starting over for next year.
Yep, planning again for next year.
Start it again.
So.
Yep.
Well, that's awesome. But, hey, Matt, we appreciate you sitting down with us. We know you're busy, and you put a lot of time into this, and I'm sure you got other places to be right now. But we greatly appreciate you sitting down and talking about this and, building this year to year. And, for all of our listeners and viewers out there, you got to get out to this show.
Absolutely.
You get out and enjoy this. If you've never been here, I'm telling you, you're missing out.
Yeah, absolutely. Give us a shot. I mean, you've spent $5 on worse stuff. So give us a chance. Come in and check it out. And I think you'll be impressed. I think, even if you're, like you said, even if you're not into the outdoors that big, come in, get a sandwich, walk around. Who knows? Something might catch your eye. And
Yeah.
There's something here for everybody. Absolutely.
100% is 100%. Well, all right, we're going to get out of here. Just wanted to keep this one short and just get the information out there to everybody. We appreciate you listening, watching. Matt, thank you again. We're looking forward to being up here with you, rocking and rolling in 2 weeks?
Yeah, we'll be back here Well, I'll be back here in a
Yeah,
week.
you'll be
You're
here.
probably not leaving.
Yeah,
You'll be
it's
sleeping
not, it's
here.
not going to feel like it, that's for sure. So,
Right, right. All right. Well, hey, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it, Matt. We'll see you a couple weeks then, buddy.
Yeah.
All right.
All right,
Thank you.
guys.
Thanks for
you.
Thank
having
you.
me.
Take care.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll see you.